Today I'm going to decorate an envelope. I'm going to use a recycled envelope to make an envelope for Happy Mail to send to family and friends. Hi, I'm Jeannie from Jeannie's In Any Case Journals, and I hope you have a good time, and let's just get started. I've used a recycled envelope, as you can see. Depending on the envelopes that you have, the measurements will be a little bit different. This one I think is just over 9 inches. Yep, just over about 9 3/16 by the look of it, and by 4 1/4. The first thing I did was tear the sides. I just used my ruler for that. I'm not worried about cutting at the moment. Ooh, clunk. Get rid of those. And then I scored my envelope. I've got my scoreboard. You don't need to have a scoreboard, but if you've got one, that's great. And the first thing I did was I scored it at 6.5 inches. So I hope I can stay in the score line. Here we go, 6.5 inches all the way down. Great. Do that a couple of times. Not worried about tearing the paper because this is the bit that I do tear. There we go. Get rid of that bit. And you don't have to throw that away because that will actually make a nice little coin pocket. I think they're called coin pockets. There you go. Postage paid Australia. Any road. Then I'll turn my envelope around and I'm going to score at 1 1/4 inches. There we go. Oops. Oh, I don't know about others, but I have trouble with scoreboards. And then I'm going to do 8.5. On my originals I did it slightly smaller. I went to 8 3/8, but 8.5 seems a bit better. So that's the scoring done. And remember, it depends on your envelope and if you have a window where you want the window to be. So then I'll turn it inside out because I want the pattern on the outside. A good friend showed me a beautiful picture she made, this was years ago, of a cat, and she'd made it using patterns from the envelopes, and I'd never seen anything like it. I thought it was wonderful. So she inspired me to use envelopes. So I've been collecting them ever since, and everybody's been collecting for me, and I've got so many envelopes. I need to do something with them. This is the difficult bit to fold because it's got a double part on the envelope. But just persevere, you will get there. You will get there. Well, maybe not in this case. Just keep being tough. Will do. It's a bit of a wobble. Let's go back and make it unwobbly. Yeah. And these little bits that are sticking up, that's fine. We can glue them as we go. I opened it up, and on the inside I put origami paper. The paper is, where was that cut to? It was, actually cut this, so it was about 5 1/4, 5 1/8, somewhere around there. Whatever it is, you need it to just go on the inside here, and then you really don't need any other on the inside at the moment. So I Mod Podged that, and rather than do that on screen, I'll show you what they look like. So this is a number that I did. So I've got different envelopes, different patterns, and different origami papers. There we go. The one that I might use today, I think I'll go with this one. I hope this one's alright. I glued the flap at the top down, the one that's next to the window, and that's about that. And what I'm going to do is score this again. Now this is one of my original ones, so it's actually going to be a bit tight, of a tight fit, but that's okay. So I'll just score that. Once the origami paper dried, it just made it that little bit stronger, and so you have to give it a really good score. I could do an inside and then out, I suppose, make it a bit stronger. I also put them overnight. I put the pieces all underneath a few books to flatten out. there wasn't too much of a problem. And you can see I've got a bit of a wobble there, but not too worried. Okay, so this is how it will go. And you can see that's just a little bit of a bubble, but that's okay. Let's give it a bit of a tough love there. Right, and that's your envelope. The next step, before I did anything, was to do some stamping. I'm just going to get a little bit of paper underneath, because this is a board I've mentioned before that was given to me and I do not want to mess it up. So I'm going to find a stamp, and I think I'm going to use this one. I don't know where I got this from. I think it was from a magazine, but I'm really not sure. It's quite a nice stamp. You can see I don't really look after my stamps. I'm using, what do you call it? It stays on, but it's archival ink, because I love Distress ink, but I don't want it, in case it goes in the mail, which it's supposed to do, I don't want it to be disappearing into the water, like if it gets wet. Or so if it does go into the mail, I don't want it to get wrecked. There's probably an easier way to do this. I actually find the smell of the stays on a bit heavy, but that's the way it is. So I'm just going to give you a nice press and another press. See if we get, yep, a bit more. Might use a different one on the front. So I've got a nice butterfly here. That came out of a magazine, I know it is one of the stamping magazines. I'm probably talking far too quietly and I keep forgetting to speak up. It was the bane of my life, being told to speak up when I was a kiddie. Before I put the stamp on there, I've got a piece of card somewhere and it's disappeared. There it is. It's got a little mask on it. I just made this to go over the window so that I didn't actually stamp over the window, in case that's where I put my address, or the address of a recipient. So I don't want it to be blocked out. I haven't decided yet whether the address goes on the back or the front. So there we go. Well, that'll do there. Ooh, that's strong. There's some stamps. Put a little mask back over there. So that's as simple as that is, except I've missed a bit. So I might just do that little bit there, since I've missed it. Might get another stamp, a different sort of stamp. Some birds flying over. Okay. I do like these birds. I think they came out of a magazine too. There we go, all done. I've already got myself into a bit of a mess here. Okay, so that was the next step. The next one is to put some washi tape on. So I've got lots of washi tapes, and then you've got, really it's a decision which ones to put on. And I'll just show you, this one's got some washi tapes already on it, where I put them around the window so that, because it's inside out, you've got the, whatever that transparent stuff is, glassine type paper is not really stuck down, so it needed something to help it. So I'll be doing that first, and I've got some rather slim tape, and I've sort of fallen in love with these a bit. So I'm going to put some gold tape on. I'll get my art glitter glue. I can probably use glue stick for this, but I'll just do this off the side. Oh, nearly there. Not long. On there. Just to make sure that that doesn't come off in the post. And as you know, washi tape doesn't stick by itself. It'll stick and just come straight off. So it's important to glue it down. Just using my little glue book at the side here. I like all it a glue book. There's a discussion the other day on one of the YouTubes about what a glue book is. It's quite funny really, because it depends what country you live in. It means different things, and apparently scrapbooks too. There's Kerry on Kerry the Crafter. I really like Kerry the Crafter. He's lovely to watch how he works and also listen. Very wise person. There we go. Might put some more on, but I'll use a different pattern. There we go. I think I got these from the washi tape shop, these ones. Oops, I made that far too big. I get most of my washi tapes because I didn't know what I was, well, I'm still a bit funny about knowing what I'm doing. I saw a suggestion about the washi tape on one of the YouTube channels, and I think it's Tracy Fox, and so I went there. It may not have been Tracy, but I do like the washi tape shop, and so most of mine are from there, but recently I've got some that I'll be using today, and it's from Stamp Prints, which is also in Australia. There we go. So that holds that down, and then I know that that won't come off, especially now I've got glue all over my hands. Just put that back in there. Now I'm just going to put a bit more washi tape on, and while I'm doing that I'll just be a little quiet, and then hopefully I'll edit a bit and you can see what I'm doing later. Okay, so just enjoy. Well, that was a bit of fun. So now I am going to put some stickers on. Let's see if I can find which stickers I wanted to use. So I've got some papers and some stickers. I'm just going to put them here and then decide what to put on. Just got a few. These all came from Vintage Gift Oz, which is a lovely shop. They're a lovely birdie. Okay, just fold that up so I know what it's looking like. Okay, yep, there we go. So I'm going to put a little birdie on there. Put that up there. I probably don't need to have this paper here anymore because I've finished stamping for now. So let's do these. Oh, I'm a bit rough on that one, sorry bird. Goes your beak. I've got a little card here that I put these sticker little whatever they are, plastics, because they disappear, and then I always worry that my dog is going to accidentally pick one up because they're quite choky hazards. There we go, little bird. Oh, it's got a very squidged beak, but that's okay, that's okay. Little bird, and maybe a flower. Yep. Make sure I put it the right way up though. A bit hard to tell with some of these. Away they go. I'll go to the side rather than the top, and then if I crunch it, it's not going to be a big issue. I'm using glue stick for these. I'm not sure if it's the best thing to use, but I've decided to use them. I think it goes that way. I'm just going to put it so it goes over there. I know I'm hiding the stamping underneath, but that's okay. There we go. And I'll put, well, I think that will do for that side, and I'll just go on the back for a minute. I like to, I've got some nice papers, if I can just grab hold of them. There we go. Just these nice funny little papers. They're just quite pretty. They're from Vintage, pretty sure from Vintage Gifts Oz. Just give them a little tear. ink. I mean, as I was saying before, I'm using the archival inks because I don't want the distress inks to get wet for whatever reason in the nail. So I'm trying not to, ooh, don't get ink on there. But what was really interesting is I was watching Louise Heinzel today. It actually slowed me up because I was going to come and do this video, and I ended up watching Louise instead. I got all distracted, and it was so interesting. It was making distress inks permanent, but she makes them look, they're like watercolours. So if you just YouTube, look up Louise Heinzel and her watercolour distress inks, and then she makes them permanent. It was wonderful. I didn't have the same paper that she had, but I did have something similar, and it worked. But it makes them look like watercolour, and it's lovely. So there we go, there's that one. And I might do a mimic up there, maybe. This one's got a bird on it. Do you like birdies? In Australia, where we live, where I live, it's my husband is WA, and we have a lot of honey eaters and of magpies. What else do we have? We have wattlebirds, and we have kookaburras, although they're not native, and some people don't like them, but I do. And we have, what else do we have? I'm trying to think of the names of our birds. We have sparrows and robins and finches. Get lots of birds. Now I could leave that as a space for an address, or I could put the address inside, whichever way. So I'm nearly there. I meant to do this and I didn't. Just do the edges. We don't have to do this. And if you want round edges and you don't have a chomper, you just use it with your scissors. It's not hard. There we go. Oh, that's good. I did do them the right way around. Okay, so there we go. We're up to that part. So that's one with stickers. I could add more stamps and more stickers, but what I will do is show you some of the others before we go on. So this was one that I did with what do you call them, pinking shears, and I went round, I haven't glued it down yet, with the pinking shears, and then I inked. I didn't really like that. I preferred this where it's just I just inked around, it's just the normal stuff. I did washi tape on the inside of that one. And did I show you that before? I might have. Just decorating the back. I haven't put them together yet, so there's that one. So that's with stickers. So this one has dragonflies and a little flower, and the flower on the back, happy flowers. And this one has a nice whale and some butterflies. The next step that I did was I added some tape. I love this. I've only just started using it, and it's like a frame, like a picture frame tape, and that was from Stamp Prints. Just really like that. I think it was Stamp Prints. I should have written it inside. And then when I finished, my problem was, oh, not a problem, but solving something was to put, do I put the address on the back? But to me the address needed to be there, so I put one of these in there, and I cut it in the end because it was a bit too small. And I put the end out here and covered it up anyway. So I've got two, and I need to put their name in Australia. And the next problem I needed to solve was how to close it, because if I stuck it down with glue, it would just rip everything. And if I could wrap it with a ribbon, but that's not very secure and anyone could just open it anyway. So in the end, the only thing I could come up with, to glue that down, the only thing I could come up with was Velcro. And I had some Velcro dots, so I cut them in half and I made a little Velcro closure. And I think that will be okay. I won't put anything too whatever inside. So that's how they close. That's a nice one. And then inside, with the address on, I made a little card. Like that. This is from Kaiser, the 12 by 12 inch blocks of cards. And I've stamped over it with this stamp here, just to give it a bit more confusion. And on this side, I've got some writing lines that I put in. I used the side of the acrylic block on the ink pad and then just pressed down. I saw that on Tracy Fox. I did. And that's that little bird on there. And I use these stamps to put a little, like a postage stamp. It's actually upside down, but you know. And there's a clock. So that's something for me to write on, and that goes in there. And what I would like to do then is just get some nice little things, just little cards like these, little pictures, and I could either put them in as they were or write another little note. That was one I made. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Nearly finished. And just ink these and then pop them in. Something for my great nieces, I don't know what they're called otherwise, great nieces, to make something with. So I hope you like that, and I'd just like to tell you about this one. I made this card to start with to go in, but the problem was I didn't make it large enough, which means I need to show you that. When I made the first one and it went in the envelope, it didn't sit right in the sense that it could move around, and if you've got an address on there that moves around, that's not a good look. So I made the next one bigger. So it ended up, it is 6 inches, or just shy of 6 inches by a tiny millimetre by 3 1/4-ish. And then I've just trimmed the corners, inked it and decorated it a little bit. Could decorate it more, but I thought that was a nice postcard. That was my original idea, was make a postcard, but I just didn't want to, that's a little thin anyway. I didn't want to sort of put that too thin in the mail. And then I got the envelopes, because I do have a zillion. I do hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can give me a like and maybe a really friendly comment. I would enjoy that. So thank you, and have a great day. Bye.